Every day, millions of men walk away from something real, not because they didn't want love, not because they weren't ready, but because they simply couldn't see it. They missed the signs. They thought love had to be loud, obvious, easy to recognize, but in truth, real love, authentic emotional connection, is often silent. It hides, it protects itself behind walls made of fear, past heartbreaks and silent pride. Today you're about to see what most men never will, the hidden signs that a woman's heart is already yours. Even if she hasn't found the words to say it, this isn't about blind guessing. This is about seeing beneath the surface. It's about understanding human nature, especially female emotional patterns, at a level that most never even realize exists. If you're serious about building powerful relationships, about avoiding unnecessary heartbreak, about finally knowing what's real and what's fake, this video is not optional. It's essential support to this channel if you find value, because when you do, you're not just helping yourself, you're helping men across the world. Men who might be one insight away from saving a relationship, understanding a partner, or recognizing the love that's been standing right in front of them all along. Now let's begin. Let me ask you this. If someone loved you deeply but was too afraid to show it, would you even recognize it? What if the love you've been searching for has been in front of you this whole time, hiding in plain sight? Most men won't see it and they lose everything because of it. But today, that changes. One, subconscious loyalty deepened. When someone truly cares, you won't always hear it in their words. You'll feel it, you'll notice it in what they choose not to say, in what they quietly do. Subconscious loyalty is one of the deepest forms of emotional connection. It's not the type that makes grand gestures or dramatic declarations. No, this kind of loyalty is quiet, it's instinctual. It doesn't shout, it whispers through actions, through sacrifices that seem small, but carry deep emotional weight. She won't tell you she's there for you, she'll just show up. Especially when life gets heavy, when the world feels like it's crashing down, and you're tired, struggling, even withdrawing. That's when her loyalty reveals itself most clearly. Maybe she cancels a night out just to check on you without mentioning it. Maybe she brings you food when you haven't eaten and laughs it off like it was no big deal. Maybe she's just present consistently, especially when no one else is. She won't make you feel like a burden. She'll act like helping you is natural. Because for her, it is this kind of loyalty doesn't expect thank yous. It doesn't demand recognition. In fact, it often hides itself, not because it's weak, but because it's real, deeply real over time. A pattern forms one that's so clear it becomes undeniable. She's there, not just in the good times, but in the stress, in the silence, in the mess. She doesn't flinch, she doesn't run, she stays, and that's not by accident. It's because your pain has started to matter to her, because your happiness has become something she quietly protects, because her heart, whether she says it or not, has already chosen you. Most men overlook this. They mistake it for friendliness. They think it's just her being nice, but it's not. It's a quiet, persistent loyalty, a subconscious alignment of her life with yours. And here's the truth. The woman who minimizes her sacrifices, who acts like it's no big deal, is often the one who's most emotionally invested. If you start noticing these small, quiet moments, don't dismiss them, don't brush them off. What you're seeing is someone's entire emotional world aligning with yours without a single word. Spoken emotional inconsistency, misunderstood, misjudged, but emotionally powerful. Most men see emotional inconsistency and assume the worst. She's playing games. She's not interested. She's trying to manipulate me. But here's the truth that almost no one talks about. Emotional inconsistency is often not manipulation. It's a silent inner battlefield, a war between what she feels and what she fears. You'll notice it when she's warm, one moment smiling, glowing in your presence, fully engaged, and the next she pulls away. Her mood shifts. Her gaze hardens. She becomes distant, cold, unreadable. This back and forth isn't because she stopped caring. It's because she started to care too much. In that warm moment, she lets her guard down her heart, whispers, "He feels safe." She laughs at your jokes. She opens up her body language, relaxes her eyes, sparkle when she looks at you. She lets herself be vulnerable for just a second, but then almost like clockwork, the wall comes slamming back up. She retreats, not because her feelings changed, but because they deepened. Fear kicks in, not fear of you, fear of what caring too much might cost her, fear of being hurt again, fear of loving someone who won't stay, fear of getting it wrong again. Her emotional inconsistency is the visible evidence of an invisible struggle. Every warm moment is her heart reaching out every cold. Withdrawal is her mind pulling her back. It's not calculated, it's not cruel, it's conflicted, it's real, it's raw. And if you don't understand it, you'll misread the signs. You'll think she's disinterested, when in reality, she's afraid of what she's starting to feel. Because the closer she gets to you, the higher the emotional stakes. And the truth is, if she didn't care, she'd be consistent, she'd stay cool. Calm, neutral. She wouldn't flinch if you pulled away. She wouldn't notice if you gave your energy to someone else. But she does. She feels everything, and she hates that she does, because it makes her vulnerable. What you're witnessing isn't game playing, it's her testing the emotional waters with one foot in, one foot out, hoping, praying it's safe to go all in, but terrified it won't be. Here's what most men don't get. Her inconsistency is not a rejection, it's a quiet, desperate question. Can I trust you with my heart? Will you stay? If I open up, will you hurt me like the others did? If you walk away too fast, you'll confirm her worst fear that love isn't safe. But if you stay patient, not by chasing, but by being steady, you might just become the one person she finally lets in. Because when you understand that her cold moments are actually acts of self-protection, not disinterest, you realize something most men never will. She's not unsure about you, she's unsure if she'll survive loving you. That's how deep it goes. Emotional reactivity, when her heart speaks louder than her words. You want to know if she truly cares. Watch how she reacts. Not when you give her attention, but when you don't, when someone has only a mild interest in you, their emotions remain still, calm. Waters you could disappear for days, text someone else, share laughter with another woman. And they wouldn't blink, they wouldn't flinch. Why? Because their heart is not invested. You're just a passing presence, not a meaningful connection. But when someone's heart is involved, even if they deny it, their emotions betray them. They react not because they choose to, but because they can't help it. Their feelings erupt before their logic can shut them down. And that's the beauty and the chaos of emotional reactivity. Maybe she throws a sarcastic jab when she sees you being too friendly with someone else. Maybe she suddenly turns cold short, answers distant tone because you weren't as available as usual. Maybe her smile fades ever so slightly when you bring up another woman's name, even casually. These reactions may seem small, but they're massive clues. Because here's the truth, most men miss. Emotional reactivity is involuntary. You can fake kindness, you can fake words, you can fake indifference, but you can't fake a flash of jealousy. You can't fake the sting in your voice when you feel replaced. You can't fake that tightening in your chest when the person you quietly care for seems to be drifting away. She may try to act like she doesn't care. She may tell you it's no big deal, but her energy, her tone, her mood, they will reveal everything. And sometimes she'll even get mad at herself for reacting at all. She'll say things like, "Why do I care so much? This is stupid. I shouldn't be feeling this way." But that frustration, that confusion, that emotional turbulence, it's all proof that she feels something deeper than she knows how to handle. Her heart has quietly decided something her mind hasn't caught up to yet. You matter, you affect her, your absence unsettles her, your attention soothes her. But because she's not ready to say it out loud, her emotions say it for her. Now here's the key. Most men walk away at this point. They label her emotional, dramatic, confusing, and they never realize they were standing in front of a woman who was fighting herself because she felt too much. If only they knew that storm, that sarcasm, that tension. It's not chaos. It's a signal she wants to let go. She wants to trust you, but she's terrified. If you can stay grounded, if you can see through the noise, you'll become her calm in that storm, not by fixing her, not by over-explaining, but simply by being safe, consistent, and emotionally intelligent enough to see what she's afraid to admit, that her heart is already involved, even if her words try to say otherwise, for attentive listening. When her ears become her heart in a world drowning in distraction, where attention spans shrink, by the second true. Listening has become a rare form of love. Most people today are half present, scrolling, thinking of what to say next, zoning out while you speak. So when someone actually listens deeply, fully, intentionally, it's not just rare, it's intimate. And when a woman's heart is secretly tied to you, her attention shifts in a way that's impossible to fake. She's not just listening to the words you say, she's listening to the person behind them. She catches the slight pause in your voice when you mention your dad. She notices the tension in your body when you talk about your job. She hears the hidden frustration in your tone, even when you laugh to cover it up. Real love listens differently. It listens not for information, but for emotion, not for answers, but for connection. Look for this when you speak. Does she put her phone down without you asking? Does she angle her body toward you? Gaze locked, even in a noisy room. Does she respond in ways that prove she's not just hearing you, she's feeling you? She might remember things you barely even recall saying. She might ask follow-up questions days later about something you only mentioned once. She might offer comfort without you even asking, because she heard the pain between your sentences. That's not friendliness, that's not just being nice, that's emotional presence. And here's what most men miss. Attention is a love language, not just any attention. Focused, selfless, steady attention. In a world where most people only listen to reply, she listens to understand, because in her heart, you've already become important enough to study. She's absorbing pieces of you, not out of obligation, not out of politeness, but because she cares, because your happiness, your worries, your silence matter to her in a way she can't explain. And she doesn't do it for applause. She doesn't expect you to notice. In fact, she probably hopes you don't, because noticing would mean admitting what she's still too afraid to say out loud. But the signs are there, the way she mirrors your emotions, the way she slows down when you're upset, the way she lights up when you talk about something you love. She's not just listening to your voice, she's listening to your soul. And that kind of attention, that quiet, sacred connection, it's not random, it's not casual, it's not friendship. It's a heart trying to love you in silence. So pay attention to how she listens, because the women who care the most rarely say it out loud. They show it in the stillness, in the focus, in the way they gift you their presence when everyone else is too busy to look up. 5 of remembering tiny details. The memory of the heart memory is not just a function of the brain, it's a mirror of emotional priority. We forget what doesn't matter, we forget what doesn't move us, but we remember what touches us, even when we don't mean to. When someone remembers the small things, the throwaway comments, the random facts, the quiet moments you didn't think anyone noticed, they're not just showing a sharp memory, they're revealing emotional investment. Think about it. She remembers your favorite coffee order, even though you only mentioned it once while rushing to a meeting. She brings up a story you told months ago that even you had forgotten. She references a goal you casually mentioned, like it mattered to her just as much as it mattered to you. These are not coincidences, they are signals, because the human mind is flooded with thousands of bits of information every day. Only a handful stick. And when you are the one that sticks, when your words, your preferences, your stories take up space in someone else's mind, it's because emotionally you've become significant, even if they don't fully realize it yet. And here's what makes this so powerful. She's not sitting down with a notebook trying to memorize things about you like she's studying for a test. No, these memories cling to her naturally, effortlessly, because her heart is holding on to them for her. And that's how emotional memory works. We don't choose what we remember what we care about. Most men overlook this. They wait for fireworks, grand gestures, confessions, but they miss the real magic, the kind that lives in the shadows of everyday life. Because when someone remembers your childhood dog's name or recalls your favorite movie without being reminded, or avoids mentioning that one topic you said makes you uncomfortable, that's care, that's love, that's presence, and the beauty of it. It's quiet, it's private, it's deeply sincere. She may not realize she's doing it. She may shrug it off if you bring it up. But her memory is carrying pieces of you, and that means her heart is too. It means you've stopped being just someone she knows. You've become someone her emotional world has started to build around, and trust this in a world full of noise, distractions, and self-absorption. When someone remembers the little and things about you, it's one of the purest signs that their heart is already yours. Even if they haven't said the words yet, even if they don't fully understand it themselves, their memory speaks what their mouth is still afraid to say. 6, seeking proximity when distance feels wrong and closeness feels like home. Sometimes the deepest truths aren't found in what someone says or even what they do. They're found in where they choose to be, and more importantly, who they choose to be near in relationships. Proximity is powerful. You can fake a smile when standing next to someone, but you can't fake where you instinctively want to be. And when a woman's heart is secretly tethered to yours, you'll feel it in her subtle pull toward you. Even if she hasn't said a word, watch how she navigates the room. Does she find small reasons to sit near you? Does she enter the room and somehow end up standing next to you again? Does she create moments that keep you around even when they aren't necessary? This isn't coincidence, it's not randomness, it's the magnetic pull of unspoken emotional attachment. She might invite you to something that doesn't really require your presence. She might send you messages or voice notes about minor things just to keep the thread of connection alive. She might linger in conversation even after the topic has faded because being in your energy feels right. And the most telling sign when you're not there, she notices you might not see it directly, but it's there, the subtle tension when you leave the room, the unexpected enthusiasm when you come back, the way her mood subtly shifts depending on how close or far you are. You see, proximity is not just physical, it's emotional. And when someone seeks your nearness, even in small, indirect ways, it means you've become a part of their inner world, a place they don't want to feel dissed. Most men miss this because they're waiting for grand gestures. They think love has to look like candlelight dinners, long talks under the stars, or passionate confessions, but real emotional connection often whispers. It says, "I don't know why, but I just feel better when you're here. I didn't realize how quiet it felt until you left. I wasn't expecting to miss you, but I did." These whispers live in her actions, in her choices, in the way she keeps showing up, in the way she looks for moments, however small, to be near you. And here's what's even more powerful. She may not even understand why she does it. She may frame it as coincidence. She may brush it off as casual, but you'll know because her presence will start to orbit yours, like it's the only place she feels grounded. And when you begin to see the pattern, when she's always somehow near, always reaching in subtle ways, always trying to be part of your day, that's not friendship, that's not politeness, that's a heart trying to stay close to the place where it quietly feels the safest. You so pay attention. Because if your absence makes her uncomfortable, if your presence gives her peace, you're no longer just someone in her life, you've become part of her emotional home. 7, protectiveness, when her instinct becomes your armor. There's a kind of love that doesn't announce itself with words. It doesn't shout, "I love you," or demand your attention. Instead, it steps in front of you when life gets hard. It shields it, softens it, supports. That's protectiveness. And it is one of the truest, deepest, and most instinctive signs of real emotional attachment when a woman cares deeply. Even if she hasn't admitted it to herself, she becomes a quiet protector of your peace, your energy, and your well-being. And it starts to show in the smallest, most unexpected ways. Maybe she senses your stress before you speak a word. Maybe she checks in with you when something feels off, even when you haven't told anyone. Maybe she steps up for you in conversations, defends you when you're not around, or stands by you when no one else does. And the most powerful part, she doesn't even realize she's doing it. Protectiveness is primal. It's not calculated. It's automatic. It comes from a place where you've stopped being just someone to her and become hers. In a quiet, unspoken way, she might tease you, playfully give you a hard time about being tired or working too much, but underneath the humor, there's care. Underneath the sarcasm, there's concern. When you're cold, she'll offer her jacket, even if she pretends it's no big deal. When you're overwhelmed, she'll distract you, lighten the load without ever asking for credit. when life throws chaos at you. She won't step back, she'll step closer. It's not always dramatic or heroic. Sometimes protectiveness is just her. Making sure you've eaten, her texting you when it rains to remind you to drive safe, her watching your back when you're too tired to watch it yourself. This is what love looks like before it's spoken. And here's the truth: in a world where people are consumed by themselves, where everyone's out for their own gain, protectiveness is sacred. It's the language of someone whose heart has already made a decision. Your well-being matters to me more than my convenience. But most men miss it. They're trained to look for big moments, for loud expressions, for cinematic gestures, and they walk right past the woman who would go to war for their peace. Not because she had to, but because she couldn't help it. So if you see her protecting your name when you're not around, if she softens the world when it gets too harsh, if she stays close when others scatter, understand this: you are no longer just someone she likes. You've become someone she feels responsible for emotionally, and protectiveness, quiet, steady, unspoken, is the final confirmation that her heart is already yours, not in theory, not in fantasy, but in real life, in real time right now. Final words. Most men miss these signs. They walk away from the kind of love that only comes once. They miss the loyalty hidden in silence, the care buried in sarcasm, the protectiveness disguised as teasing. They miss the heart speaking a language only the attentive can hear. Don't be most men. Be the one who sees, be the one who understands, be the one who recognizes the rarest kind of love, the kind that doesn't shout but still shows up. Master this knowledge and you'll never again wonder if someone cares. You'll know if you've stayed with me until now. Comment empowered below. That tells me you're one of the rare few who finish what they start. And if you found any value today, please support this channel, because when you do, you're not just helping me, you're helping thousands of men who are searching for the truth but may never hear it unless you help share it. Subscribe, like, comment, and keep building the life and love you deserve. This is just the beginning.